Deep beneath the golden sands of Egypt lies a hidden story. A story not of kings and queens, but of shadows. Of men who dared to defy the gods and steal from the dead. Who were these ancient tomb raiders? How did they navigate the labyrinthine tombs, outsmart deadly traps, and escape the wrath of a civilization that believed in eternal vengeance? To understand why tomb raiding became such a dangerous but irresistible endeavor, we must first step into the shoes of an ordinary ancient Egyptian. Life was hard. For most, it was a daily grind of farming under a relentless sun or backbreaking labor in the quarries. But hidden in the deserts, within the Valley of the Kings, lay unimaginable treasures, gold, jewels, and artifacts crafted for eternity. To some, this was a calling far greater than any fear of the gods. The tomb raiders were no amateurs. Armed with rudimentary tools, they used their intimate knowledge of the tomb construction process. Many raiders were insiders, builders, priests, or even guards. These men had access to blueprints and knew the exact location of hidden chambers. But breaking in was only the beginning. Ancient Egyptian tombs were designed as puzzles, with false doors, hidden traps, and labyrinthine passageways meant to confuse and disorient intruders. Some raiders never made it out alive. Their bones discovered centuries later, still clutching stolen treasures. The tomb raiders may have thought they were untouchable, but the pharaohs weren't oblivious. During the reign of Ramses IX, tomb raiding had become so rampant that the authorities launched an unprecedented crackdown. Entire task forces were assembled to investigate these crimes. Captured raiders were often tortured to reveal their accomplices. Many were executed, their names erased from history. An eternal punishment in Egyptian culture. Despite the risks, the lure of wealth kept the cycle going. Ancient Egyptians believed that disturbing a tomb unleashed a curse, dooming the perpetrator for eternity. These curses were no idle threats. They were etched into the walls of tombs, warning intruders of sickness, madness, or death. Centuries later, tales of these curses resurfaced during the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. When several members of the excavation team died under mysterious circumstances, could these ancient warnings hold some truth? Tomb raiding wasn't just a desperate act of survival. For some, it became a business. Stolen treasures were melted down or sold to wealthy buyers. Goldsmiths and merchants played a key role in laundering these artifacts, ensuring they vanished into the hands of the elite. The trade wasn't without risks. Buyers who were caught with stolen items could face severe punishments, and some chose to bury their loot, hoping to retrieve it later. A decision that sometimes led to deadly betrayals. To infiltrate the tombs, raiders relied on ingenuity. They crafted torches capable of burning in the oxygen-starved corridors, created makeshift ladders, and used chisels to pry open sealed doors. Some even devised pulley systems to haul treasures out of deep shafts. Modern archaeologists have found evidence of these tools left behind in abandoned attempts, revealing the raiders' methods and their missteps. Raiding wasn't always a solo venture. Some thieves collaborated with corrupt officials, who turned a blind eye for a cut of the profits. Priests, charged with safeguarding the tombs, were often complicit, providing maps or even performing rituals to mask their activities. This hidden web of alliances meant that raiding wasn't just an act of rebellion. It was part of a shadow economy, one that thrived beneath the surface of Egyptian society. Despite the widespread looting, some tombs managed to escape the raiders' reach. These untouched tombs, like that of Tutankhamun, offer a glimpse into what might have been lost forever. Their survival wasn't due to luck alone. Many were hidden so effectively that even those who built them never returned. Others were buried beneath rockfalls or forgotten over centuries. While the ancient tomb raiders are long gone, their legacy lives on in the form of modern looters. Today, illegal excavation continues to threaten Egypt's cultural heritage, with priceless artifacts disappearing into private collections or the black market. Efforts are underway to protect these treasures, but the challenge remains immense. The sands of Egypt may hold secrets, but they also hold temptations. The tombs of ancient Egypt were built in total secrecy. Only trusted workers, sworn to silence, knew their locations. These workers were skilled craftsmen who carved tunnels, painted walls, and sealed chambers with heavy stones. But some workers couldn't resist the temptation. They left secret marks and maps, hoping to return later and steal treasures. Many raiders relied on these hidden clues to find tombs that had been forgotten for centuries. Not all raiders were experienced. Some made mistakes that led to disaster. Imagine digging through a tomb wall only to hit a false chamber full of poisonous gas. Some thieves never made it out alive. Others accidentally triggered traps, like falling stones or pits, meant to protect the tombs from intruders. These first-timers served as a warning to others. Raiding wasn't just about skill. It was about survival. Over time, tomb raiding wasn't just for individuals. Groups of raiders banded together, forming secret gangs. These gangs planned raids in the dead of night, using lookouts to avoid patrols. Their teamwork made them more successful, but also more dangerous to the authorities trying to catch them. If one gang member was caught, they often betrayed the others to save themselves. While gold and jewels were valuable, mummies themselves held secrets and power. Raiders stole mummies to strip them of precious amulets and jewelry hidden in the wrappings. In some cases, the mummies were even sold. People believed their powdered remains could heal sickness or grant wisdom. Many of Egypt's royal mummies vanished this way, lost to greed and superstition. Raiders didn't just face the gods' curses. They faced their own greed. Some fought over treasures, turning on their own friends to keep the loot for themselves. Others became obsessed, risking their lives for more and more treasure, even when they didn't need it. In the end, many raiders lost everything, proving that greed could be the deadliest curse of all. Some pharaohs went to extreme lengths to protect their tombs. They ordered fake burials to confuse raiders. These decoy tombs were filled with cheap treasures to trick thieves into thinking they had struck gold. Meanwhile, the real tombs lay hidden deep underground, guarded by secret passages no one could find. It was a clever trick, but even these tombs weren't always safe. Years after the raids, archaeologists discovered secret notes left behind by ancient raiders. These notes, scratched onto pottery or written on papyrus, revealed how thieves planned their heists. One note even listed the treasures they stole, like a shopping list of stolen goods. These discoveries gave us a peek into the minds of these daring criminals. Some ancient maps have been found that hint at lost tombs still waiting to be discovered. These maps, drawn in symbols and lines, are like puzzles that archaeologists are still trying to solve. What if there's a tomb out there, filled with untouched treasures, waiting for the world to find it? The search for these tombs is like a modern treasure hunt, but with much higher stakes. One of the most surprising discoveries was a confession from a tomb raider. This ancient document, found in a court record, tells the story of a thief who was caught stealing from a pharaoh's tomb. The raider described the traps he avoided and the treasures he found, but also his regret. It's a rare glimpse into the mind of someone who risked everything for gold. The sands of Egypt continue to hide many secrets. Every year, archaeologists discover new tombs, artifacts, and clues about the ancient world. But for every discovery, there's a question. How much has been lost forever to time and greed? The story of Egypt's tomb raiders is far from over. What will the sands reveal next? The answer, perhaps, lies beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered. The tomb raiders of ancient Egypt may be long gone, but their actions have shaped history in unexpected ways. What they took and what they left behind tells us a story of human ambition, greed, and mystery. And as long as the sands of Egypt shift and change, their secrets will keep calling to us. What do you think? Would you dare to enter an ancient tomb, knowing the dangers that await? Let us know in the comments.